Welcome to the official podcast of the National Pickleball League, where we go inside the NPL.
Welcome, everyone, to Everything and the Kitchen Dink. My name is Michael Chen, Hammer Mike, they call me, along with my co-host, David, the Professor George, and Jen, Bone Crusher Gallwas. Thank you for another episode where we go inside the National Pickleball League, the only league for champion pros, players over the age of 50, playing pickleball. So thank you again. We're missing our co-host, Rick Witsken. I think he's teaching a class somewhere in some special island, but we'll have a special guest later on today that we can talk about. But right now, Jen and David, we're getting really close to the championships, right? And we have I've talked to 6 or 7 owners who think they have a chance to win it all. And I really think there's 9 or 10 that secretly think they can win it all. And so it's going to be a very exciting championship that we're going to have. And I can't wait to get there. But we're going to talk to one of the teams, the Seattle team, right? United Pickleball Club, owned by Stephen Keller and managed by James Main. And a special guest today we're going to have, who's going to be on shortly. What do you think about Seattle's chances of winning, first of all, David and Jen?
Well, Michael, I am still shocked when you always say they called me Hammer Mike. Like, you just keep saying this over and over again, and eventually it will stick. Like, you keep just giving yourself this nickname Hammer over and over and over again, and then I assume someday someone will probably call you by that name.
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
I didn't give him this name. I know David did. I mean, I call him Moonball Mike.
Who are these days?
Oh, my goodness. I'm hoping I get a sponsor that will say, hey, for 30% off, just put in Hammer Mike 30, right? Like Jen Gallwas, right? There's a code. Why don't you tell me the code for Incrediwary? It's
20 Bone Crusher.
20 Bone Crusher.
Because I actually hit the ball hard,
off.
though. You know, hammers are hard.
And who gave you that nickname, Bone Crusher, Jen?
I think you did.
Okay, see? So there you go.
I think I hit you once or something.
I know, and I called you Bone Crusher. Now you have a sponsorship deal with Incrediware. 20?
That's great.
A Bone Crusher. So
I wear them. I need them. They help a lot. So.
They're great. They're a great sponsor. Yeah. We just want to give a quick shout out to our other sponsors before we get started, right? A Gamma by Chuck, the official ball of the NPL. Gearbox, which I play with, and it gives me a lot of pop on my paddle, and they're the official paddle sponsor. Along with, we have Fat Tire, right, which we all drink after a long weekend. And David, you always drink your Julian coffee, right, in the morning.
I have it 3 or 4 times every single day.
Yeah, they're an incredible sponsor as well. And the Ernie pickleball machine, right? You know our CFO, Sonia, she bought one and she just drills it all the time. And she's getting better every day. And she's training to get someday to be in the NPL possibly for her as well. And then we also have a couple other sponsors. We have DexaScan, right? Which can scan and proactively scan your body's bone density to make sure that preventive, if you have any issues, to make you aware of it ahead of time so you can do something about it, right? So that's a big part of our sponsorship. And we had our guest last week, Yobo, right? Was another sponsor.
Yeah.
Right, which is a great thing. And we're so glad that we have Yobo as a sponsor. So thank you,
We have a massage pistol now, and we have other gifts coming.
Yep, the workout.
I was just talking with David over the weekend while I was in Chicago, and that new gyro ball is going to take the world by storm.
Really? Are we getting one of that?
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, I love it. So I can't wait to have one officially. I've used it a few times, and
it's awesome.
David said we're going to get one. So they have a new kind of whole warm-up kit. So hopefully we'll get one.
No,
okay.
It's awesome. A lot of good strengthening products. So
well, okay.
You too can work on your strength.
Well, thanks a lot. Well, you know what? Since you won't answer the question about Seattle, we're just going to bring Adriana on.
Yeah,
she'll answer the question. So without a further ado, we're going to bring on a special guest this weekend, Adriana Tomazelli of the Seattle United Pickleball Club. Welcome, Adriana.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being on, Adriana. I've got lots of questions to ask you, but David and Jen always think I monopolize your time. So I'll just ask one and then I'll let them chime in, right? Okay. But first of all, I want to ask, I looked at, I'm trying to gain my social media following. I'm not doing a good job because I don't post as much, but I just saw you have like 50,000 followers of yours on Instagram. Holy mackerel. Like, how do you get that many followers? What is it that have people follow you and they don't follow me? And I'm trying to get people to follow me all the time.
I don't see any difference.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly.
Wait, Michael, are you trying to say you're not a model, artist, professional athlete in multi-sports? Is that what you're trying to say? You're not that?
I in a Danny Werfel thing, when we interviewed Danny Werfel, he made the NFL and I didn't make the NFL, unfortunately. So that's the difference. And yes, Adriana, tell us a little about your career. And I know your career has been very amazing, had a great career. And maybe that's why you have a social media following. But I was just hoping that I could have
like
some
the
followers.
following is more about like if you are like in many different places, you are meeting many different people. And then if you're doing like different kind of businesses or different sports, that is crowd for everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So, but I have this Instagram account for like over 10 years. So it's been there forever. It started because I did like a cover magazine contest through my modeling agency. They actually did it for me. So they signed up and then was voting online every single day for 6 months.
Wow.
So then you get your name out there and then people start following. People like, I have no clue who are the followers and stuff like that. But people remain, right? Once you start following someone, they're there. And then for that reason, I started my Instagram account that the modeling agency started for me. And then it became about other sports. And then it became about my arts. And it became about my everyday. And then I just never ended the account. And then for you guys, it's probably like Instagram is more like the past 5 years or something like that. So for me, it's like from back then.
Could we start a modeling agency for over 50-year-olds or over 60-year-olds like me? Do you think I have a shot, Adriana? Like, I'm personable. Like, I think I'm okay looking. And, do you think there's a chance for
Oh,
me?
you're cute, Michael.
Thank
You should take some pictures in boxers and then like, just look a little bit more sexy and then you get more followers and then you go from there.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Build your base.
I mean, I've seen Michael in his boxers and he's very cute. And so I think we should take some pictures together, Michael.
No,
No.
I'll pass.
That's how you do it. Teamwork.
Yeah. Never mind. Let me go back to Adriana. Tell us about your whole life, your career. You started from Brazil. You've had some great stories. We just want to get to know a little bit about you, Adriana, and how you got to where you are today.
Okay, gladly. So I grew up playing handball, but it's handball, the European handball. It's our team, right? We're not playing against the wall. So then I did that my whole childhood. And then one day I found out about squash. Because where I live in Brazil is always raining. Like it's sunny outside, just like Florida, It's sunny, beautiful, and then start raining. And then I found this courts like indoors. I was like, what? I can play like every day for many hours as a one. And then I just started playing squash and I got serious about it. But at the same time, I had to work because my dad died when I was very young.
Oh,
so you were like 4 kids in a house and it's like, third world country kind of thing. So I was like working all day and then playing squash, go to university at night. And I took squash very seriously. I got as far as I was playing the professional level, and then I was silver medalist in on the nationals. And then at that point, I had to decide. I really wanted just to compete, but then I had to work because I had to pay the bills. My mom was alone, 4 kids, and blah blah blah. And then back then, there was not a lot of money. That was like 1998. I'm old.
What'd you do? What'd you do for work?
I was a banker. I started very early. I was like working as 18-year-old. And then I grew up I grew very fast in the banking. So I had like a high salary for my age. I was like very working hard and then studying hard and playing hard. And then I got to one point, I'm like, I just like, I'm going to stay low because there was not a lot of money on it. This sports, I feel like you got to be rich when you're young to actually succeed, right? Or you're so damn good, then you get sponsors and all that stuff. So that's what happened to me back then. So I always felt I was a little bit of a frustrated athlete in a way because I wanted to go further, but I was always stopped by financials or family issues or this and that. So then I played squash for many years, and then I decided to move to the US because I was not happy being just a banker anymore. So I wanted more. I wanted more. When you come from these countries, it's different than in America. In America, I feel like people have a lot of options. We don't. We have to grab what you have and then go for it. And then that's how we saw sports. That's how we saw business world. And then I'm like, okay, I wanted to do better than this, but it was really good for my age and everything I have done. So I was like, I'm going to quit. I'm going to spend 1 year in the US, learn English and get a better job than I had. And then I came here and then I was here for 3 days. And then I started dating someone that I ended up marrying later on. I had a daughter with, spent 15 years together, but I never had intentions to be here. I just want to be 1 year here and then go back home. And then life changed, right? So then the first year I'm here, it was just like a student. And then I started doing modeling because back in Brazil, I did some, but it was, I had to work. So, I didn't have much choice in life in that way. And then I was like, okay, I started doing some modeling. And then I had a boyfriend and then we ended up getting married and they did the whole thing. Then I found out about racquetball. Squash was not a big thing here. I was like, I need to play. Then I got serious in racquetball. I went to US Open in 2006. And then I had sponsors, I had everything going for me. And then I got hurt. I got a herniated disc. I could not play for 9 years. And then I was like a vegetable. I was depressed. I was so sad. And then after that, I got married. And then I was like, what am I going to do in my life now? And then I started painting. And then I became an artist. I was like, I want to make this huge painting because I was moving to a house. And then I couldn't find anything the size I wanted. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a lesson and see what I can do. And then I
painting behind you. Is that painting behind you? Did you do that painting behind you? I'm looking at beautiful paint. Wow. I was admiring that painting. So you did that.
Yeah, it's abstract.
Wow.
Love it. That's awesome.
But everything I do is like oversized because I figure like if you want to like a small painting, you can go to any store and then there's a lot of prints out there, not like original arts. But if you want something like 7 foot tall or 8 foot long or 10 foot, you got to go to a gallery. And then that became my business because then I was like, I started painting and then I loved it. I was like, oh my God, I can do it. And then there was another thing that happened. So for 9 years, everything I think about, it was like, I want to play, but I can't. So then one day I went to LA and then I knew this guy from back then. I used to live in LA as well. And he cured me in 3.5 hours. And it was unbelievable. I just felt like God gave me another opportunity. Wow. And then I started playing my sports again. So I went back to my sports that I used to play since as a child in Brazil. It's a beach racket sports. I played the World League for it. And it's called fresco ball. So it's 2 paddles, just like smash ball, but we play the fresco ball. We play with the racquetball ball. It's really fast. So it's a sport that you guys don't know about. It's European and then Brazilian. So when I compete, I go overseas. And then I started playing that again. I was like, you know what? I can go back to it. And then I had an overseas tournament in Greece. The #1 player in the world, he's in Brazil, and he invited me to be his partner. His partner was his wife, and she died. And she died playing fresco ball. But he knew me from back then. And then one day I got a message from him, and he's like, I want you to be my partner. And then he came to the US. We practiced for 15 days, and then went to compete in Greece. And then the guy hits the ball so hard. And then it's like, it's back and forth. He hits the ball like 130 kilometers per hour. And then I'm like a resetter, and attacker. It's a different sport than you guys.
Sounds a little bit like pickleball too, huh? Just like pickleball.
Sounds harder than pickleball.
Is it? Yes, maybe.
It's harder because it's a lot of athleticism involved. So imagine someone attacking you 130.
Wait,
and then
there's athleticism in pickleball too. Like I have to run around the court, and
I guess not the way we play it, Michael.
I guess not.
It's just a different sport.
Right.
Yeah. And then I went to Europe to compete with him. I was very flattered. Like he's the #1 in the world for the last 2 years when he invited me. And then I was already competing for this. So we know back then from other tournaments. And then when I went to Greece to compete, we are playing so hard because when I catch up in 15 days, And my arm, I got like a huge tendonitis. My arm was this big. It was crazy. So I came back. I was like, I couldn't do anything. But it's a lot of pressure, just like tennis.
Yeah.
The ball is heavy. The paddle is heavy. It's like 300 grams. I don't know how to translate that to ounces. But so then what happened? I came back to the West. And then, okay, before I went, I started calling people. I was like, I knew a sports agent. I was like, I want to see if I can get a sponsor because all my tournaments are overseas. Yeah. And then when I started calling sponsors, they were like, well, if you played pickleball, I would sponsor you. But nobody here in the US knows frescoball. And I was like, pickleball?
It sounds funny, doesn't it? Pickleball? Especially the way you said it. Pickleball?
No, I was like, look, I'm a foreigner, but pickle doesn't sound very good. Or it doesn't sound athletic, right?
Right.
Even when you're not a foreigner, it sounds kind of funny.
Yeah,
it's very funny because you can think of many different ways, right? Because this, because that. I was like,
pick up this ball, pick up that ball. Yeah.
I was like, you wanted me to pick around, so give me money or I'll pay my own bills.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay. And then I heard that. And then I used to do F45. Do you guys know F45?
What's it called?
F45. It's a circuit. The workout training.
Yeah. Okay.
So then I was an ambassador for them. And then these people there, they were like, they used to go to the beach where they play. They were like, you should try pickleball. You should try pickleball. And then I started hearing from everywhere, you should try pickleball. Yeah. I was like, you guys are prickling my mind. So then I went online. I was like, what is this pickleball about? You know? And I was like, and then I said Simone Jardim. So we're Brazilian,
you saw
right?
Simone. Oh, wow. So you
one of the first videos I saw was Simone. I was like, oh, there's a Brazilian. She's number one. If she can, I can. Kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Because, like in Brazil, like I said, we got to do everything on your own. Yeah. So you're like, if you have to dig in, you go. You're not afraid of it. So then I start. So this guy from the gym, from that 45 was like, hey, you have to come play with us. And I was like, okay, fine. Let's go pickle. And then I played with this 75 years old. They kicked my body. I was like, what? I was so intrigued. Then I went to Europe to play my sport. And then I was like, you know what? My arm is so inflamed and all this stuff. But I still can play pickleball because the ball is so light.
Yeah.
That's what was in my mind. Do you believe that?
What year was this?
I just played the 75-year-old.
Yeah,
and then
what year was that?
The paddle is so light. The ball is so light. So I came back. I healed while playing pickleball. Because the other one is so much pressure on you. And then I met Chris Miller.
So wait, hold on. What year was it that you picked up pickleball?
That was the first year of COVID, a little like 6 months before 2019, 20?
2019. COVID was 2020. So you picked
20,
up
but it was like in December. So it was like 2020. Yeah.
2020. So you've been playing for 4 years.
4 years, yes. God. Then I met Chris randomly. And then he was the head coach, the head pro in Encinitas, Bobby Riggs.
Chris Mills.
And then we're just friends. And then we're like, just met him and it's like, oh, you play this sport. He saw my videos about frescoball. You should try this. I'm the head pro there. And then the first day I go there, I played with Steve and then Jennifer Dawson and then Chris Miller. Wow. And then I was like, whoa, I love this game. Then for me, next day I played 8 hours nonstop and all I could talk about was pickleball. I lost a lot of friends. They're like, we're giving up on you, Adriana.
So you played with Jen Dawson, Hall of Famer Jen Dawson, who's on our Kansas City team now, right? As well.
Her husband Steve.
Her husband Steve, right? Who's on
because I went to Bobby
Naples.
Yeah.
And Chris Mills, who's on Indy, right?
Yeah, they spent a little time there with us because they always exchange balls with Chris, and then we play some points. I was like, I can get used to this, you know. And then like when you have so many backgrounds of racket sports, and then you get your butt kicked, and then you're like, no, I want to show them that I can do this.
Yeah.
Right. Oh wow.
It's not about that. I really fell deeply in love with pickleball. So then my everyday became pickleball. And then COVID started right after. So then I had more time in my hands. And then that was it. I never looked back for any other sport, even like my beach sport. Like I have tournaments to go overseas and I'm like, sorry guys, I can't spend time on this anymore.
Wow. So you're all pickleball now, huh?
All pickleball.
Wow.
All pickleball and art.
Like the rest of us, right?
Like
Yeah.
the rest of you. You guys look so addicted.
Yeah, we are. I've seen you. Well, first of all, when I first saw you, I said, you're not that big, you're tiny, right? Like you can't hit the ball that hard. Then I see you on the pickleball court. You hit the ball as hard as anybody. Like you and Bone Crusher usually have a competing for who hits the ball harder, but is your game that game now to overpower people? And that's probably from Fresca, right? It's that game where your hands are so
It's the
powerful.
squash. Have you played squash?
No, I haven't.
Squash is the most impact sports is ever there. Like I'm not saying anything, but if I could just go back to squash, I would. But it's not as big as here.
Yeah.
But it's so hard because it's a lot of impact and power.
Right.
In Brazil, we used to play against guys. Was girls against guys was normal, but that was back then, right? 1998.
Right.
I sound so old when I say that.
No, trust me, I don't want to. You're much younger than I am. So, but Adriana, so if you played against Kansas City, right, which you might in the playoffs, and if you ever played against David, you would bang the ball at David, and David would just reset it to reset. So it'd be like the same game, right? You bang the ball 130 kilometers an hour, and then David resets, right? Is that the game that we'll see?
Yes, probably, because it gets to your head. It's like I can hit hard too.
Wow.
But nowadays, we have to play smarter in pickleball. If somebody's banging at you, just block it.
Yeah.
How's your dinking game?
I think it's good, but I'm biased.
Yeah, good. But you don't like to think as much as you like to bang the ball, huh? You like to attack, huh?
No, nowadays it's funny because I started like a banger. Everybody used to call me a banger, and then I was like, "Whoa!" Because I have bangs. But no, they were like, "Oh, hit the ball too hard," and blah blah blah. And then it took me like a whole year to actually accept that. So I have a little story to tell you. When I started searching about pickleball, and then I saw Simone playing, and then I started looking at the pickleball game, I was like, I want to change the game already. I want to just be aggressive and then take every ball that bounced a little high and attack it and this and that. And then I started doing that, but it was not really working because whoever is with you is not doing that. So then you're not synchronized, right? But you see, I was right from the beginning. That's what the game is becoming, right?
Yeah.
You were ahead of your time.
You said Simone, but Jaime Onsines is from Brazil as well, right?
Yes, he is. But when I searched, Jaime was not playing yet, right?
Oh,
so Simone was number one at that time.
Okay.
And then I was like, I saw her hitting the shots like indifferently and this and that. I was like, I would just like smash that ball. What is she doing? So I thought I could win that way, but then I didn't. So then I have to go back to the 4-0s kind of thing. Then the tournaments get so frustrated. And then you get like nervous or like, why am I nervous? Then people play with your mind in the pickleball. Like I started playing, I was like, dude, I can do this. But like, no, you got to do this, and that. And then I am playing, I'm about to hit the ball so hard. And then I'm thinking of like 10 different opinions in my head at that time. Then I'm like, of course, it's straight up.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. You and Jen Gallwas would make a good pair. You guys both like to, nail people and hit the ball hard. That you guys would be in sync, right? I think you guys would just
We'd have
bang
fun,
away.
that's for sure.
Let's go, Jen.
Adriana texted me after Newport and asked me to play with her in a senior tournament back out in California, but I live in Chicago and I just come back from Newport. So we'll find one.
Yeah, we'll find one. We're going to traumatize some people there.
Traumatize. You're going to find some pictures. Oh, man.
So I just came back from Canada. I signed with the North American Professional Pickleball. Have you heard of them? NAPP.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then it's Open Pro. So then I was there playing against the youngest, tough crowd.
Yeah.
But it was so good, like very good experience. I was the only senior pro there. Everybody else is like very young. And then most
you fit in. They didn't think you were a senior pro for sure.
Yeah.
Nah, because when you're small, everybody think you were younger.
Yeah.
And then, but it was a great experience. We went to 1 and 2, so we beat one good team, but we lost to the other 2. Very tight games, but I was like, but I have to attend 4 events a year, so I'm gonna get slammed 3 more times. But let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
That's really fun.
Well, tell us about your experience at NPL, right? This is your first year of the National Pickleball League. You got drafted by Seattle United Pickleball Club. You guys are doing really well. Tell us about your experience playing on the Seattle team and on NPL. Do you like it? Do you like the team format where you have lots of teammates? You guys are doing pretty well, Seattle, this year. So tell us about your thoughts about this team format versus going and playing in a tournament with one of your partners.
Yeah, I have so much to say, but to me, it was like NPL was the best thing ever happened to me in the pickleball world, like from what I have experienced. So for me, I was like very ambitious about the pickleball thing, and then thought I could go pro in a year, kind of thing. You know, I think everyone starts like that when you come from competitive background. And that's what I love so much about pickleball. Like, it makes you so humble. And then you come back home, you're like, I want to hate that girl, but I can't. Like, you know, you did better. What can I do? You're just more mature than me at that moment.
Right.
You know? So then for me, transitioning, so until last year, I was trying to play some open pro tournaments here and there, but I always had issues with the partners because they're like, who wants to partner up with the 49-year-olds when they're like 18, 19, 25, right? And then they see you there, just see a number, right? 49, and hey, you want to play me? No, I'm going elsewhere. sorry.
That's okay.
They think so. That's what they think. It's true.
That's what they think. They don't know you. They're like from Minnesota. I'm
No,
in
thank
San
you.
Diego. What they know about me, right? I don't know what you heard about me, but that kind of thing. Then I'm like between like my screen, you know, like nobody wants to play me, nobody loves me, whatever. Right. And then you know, you can't do this alone in pickleball. Right. Especially in our age, like how far can you go in singles? But then you got to worry about the doubles and this and that.
Right.
And then I heard about the combine and stuff. So then I went to the chicken and pickle and did the combine.
Yeah.
And then I was not happy with the pod that I had. I swear to God, there was one girl in our pod that she would serve and then walk into the kitchen line. Like, she didn't even wait for the return. So she blocked all of us. So like, I was like, how am I going to show my skills here if we can't even get a ball going? You know what I mean?
Right.
So then I heard about that, and then I went to did the combine and then did the best I could. I was not happy with it because I felt like I couldn't show all my skills that I thought that I had. Because, you know, you always think you're better than you are in pickleball.
Right. Yep.
Not talking about you, but that's how I feel about myself in a way.
Yeah.
And then everyone has a different opinion, and the game is evolving, right? Now, right now, you can call me a banger, but the other person will be like, I would rather play with her. And the other people would say, like, I would rather not.
But because you did well enough because you got drafted. So were you excited when you heard? Were you excited?
So then when I hear it, then I was sure I was not going to get drafted because I was like, I didn't do my best. I didn't feel like I could expose what I had or not. I was just frustrated all the way. And then I got drafted and I was like, boom, yay. So now I'm excited again. You know, I had so many like ups and downs in pickleball in a way that are like, I'm going to give up on this because it's a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
And then we're not young anymore, like 20 years old to be doing this thing. Like, you have kids to take care of and then bills to pay and all this stuff. So then when I heard that I got drafted, and then I was like, let's go. So then I love the team format. It's just like you make so many friends, and then we all helping each other. Then I felt like, oh my God, now I don't know if I want to play normal tournaments anymore because it feels so lonely, right? You drive all the way to the facility, and then you go, and then it's a blind date. And then if you didn't do well, everyone is like, oh, so nice to meet you. You too.
Like, see ya. Goodbye.
Yeah, man, they walk away. Right?
There's my blind date 2.5 years later.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
that one worked out okay. That one worked out.
No, and then everyone goes in a direction, and then you're like, all by myself.
Yeah.
Right?
I felt that way. I felt that way so many times. So many times.
But at the MPL, you know, even if you suck, you're like,
yeah.
But I know you don't mean it, but I'll take it at the time. Yeah. I need that general support.
The only team that has a mascot.
Yeah.
Seattle.
Like everyone has like we're Austin Ignite, you guys are the Stingers, but I don't see a bumblebee out there.
No. but we
you should get Julie a costume.
No, we're gonna make Michael wear it.
No, I'm not wearing
Michael, you could be Michael Hammer Bumblebee.
No, you're so bad.
You're
Seattle's got a great team.
I got
James
so many
May.
ideas for you, Michael.
Let's change the subject. Let's talk about Seattle, okay? Because you
He's
have a
gonna
great
beat
team,
you.
right? Adriana, tell me about some of your teammates you love playing with, or
Yeah.
not even playing with, but teammates you just enjoy being on the same team with. I'd love to hear who are some of your favorite people on the Seattle United. We all love James Maine and Stephen Keller, the owner and general manager, but tell us about the players. Who do you love hanging around with and playing with?
Well, Teresa is
Teresa
my
Tower.
oh my God, that lady is just so lovely.
She's awesome. Awesome.
And she's so supportive of everything. And then I mean, hands on her. But I love all of them. Like Reagan is like our 60 plus, and it's like the sweetest thing I've ever seen. And she's so skilled and she's so positive.
She's my Nationals partner, by the way. Reagan and I playing the Nationals this year together.
No
That's
way.
how much
You're so
yeah.
lucky.
I
So
am.
you know what
so
I'm
excited.
talking about,
Bye,
right?
Reagan.
I love Reagan, and she's gonna carry me in the Nationals, hopefully.
So sweet.
Yeah.
And is it Lila? Lila Rollins she's hilarious.
Yeah.
She's so funny, guys. I call her Lila. So then when I call her Lila, she knows it's me because that's how we say in Portuguese. But she's just too funny. And then she has this different game, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you blink, she's punching at you.
She's got a quirky game, but it's a very effective game, right? Very quirky, but very effective.
Very deceiving, you know?
Yeah.
And then you have like
this
the
positivity.
Yeah. And then you have like your team, the tallest, good looking dudes, right?
Stefan, with the guy with the abs.
Abs. Stefan, the abs. He's got those abs.
Yeah. Stefan finds any excuse to show his abs.
Exactly. And David Furman.
Party, remember?
I recorded. I was like, okay, I'll film that for you.
And Kira,
but you deserve it. You work hard towards it, right?
Yes. No, he said he doesn't work hard. It comes easy. We had him on the podcast. Yeah. He says he eats like 7,000 calories a day. I tried that and I didn't get those abs.
Well, but you see his height? He has a lot of room to spread that out, right?
Exactly.
We don't have the luxury.
He's a little taller.
I mean, you're pretty much taller than me, but Michael, you're tall.
No, I'm tall, but not as tall as Stefan or David Furman. I would say those guys are tall and they're tough players, and you got a great team. Everyone you listen so far.
Beth Lee, you've got she's awesome, and Anna Shirley, and
you got to.
I feel like you have like a great round. Everybody has like a round game in a way, right?
Yeah.
So we are in it to win it. So sorry, guys, we're coming in. We're gonna kick your ass.
You guys are
Who are you playing? You are seeded number. I'm trying to remember. You're seeded number 6.
They're 5.
No, they're 6.
We're 5 now. We're 5th
You're
place.
5.
Okay, I'm looking at the bracket right now, Michael.
We're
Seattle plays Naples.
And David Wells was on last week. He predicted a first-round victory over Seattle. What do you think about that, David Wells?
Wells is probably wrong.
Who is David Wells?
He plays. Who's David Wells?
We're gonna leave. We're gonna save that one.
That's how I feel about it.
That's great.
Who's
David Wells? Wow. Wow. We're gonna have to ask David about that.
You might end up playing against him.
You might end up right. You might play against David Wells, so it'll be a good battle to see the rivalry.
Adriana, you hit him a couple times. I'll buy you lunch.
I will. Body bag.
Yeah. Yeah, so he plays for Naples, and he might end up playing in the mix. It'll be a great one to watch. But he predicted that Naples will beat Seattle in the first round.
Oh, they're not.
No, they're not. I don't think so.
I am sorry to break the news, but they're not.
So if you win, you'll play Denver because they're seeded 4th. How do you think your chances are if you beat Naples against Denver, which is got Danny Werfel, they got Scott Fliegelman, they got an all-star cast, Chad Shane,
Carter, Kelly Ojeda, lots of good players.
Yeah, lots of great players.
My chances are very high.
Wow. And you think your team will beat Denver?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't think. I know it.
Wow.
Come on, you gotta have confidence.
I'm excited. But all right. So who is your toughest competitor? Which team do you think is going to be the toughest team that you're going to face? Is it Kansas City, the Stingers? Is it Boca, the Houston Hammers? Is it Columbus? They got Giants on their team.
I feel more like Columbus in a way, but
wow,
we're going to surprise them.
Wow. So you might face
Maybe Kansas, but you never
Let's
know.
go. Let's
I
go.
know.
Austin, what about Austin?
No.
Oh, wow. She tells it like it is, Jen. I know you believe, but Adriana
Listen,
tells
we only lost you guys 7-5. And we've only played you once.
we played you in the
Well,
first
we are
round.
not having a good day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't
The
having a good
bottom
day that
line,
day
guys,
either.
we're not taking less than first for this turn, and then that's it. That's what
Wow.
it is going
Wow.
down.
We're gonna all come back and talk after the finals. We're gonna put like our money where, make a little
You're
side-
gonna ask me to be your partner. I know already what's gonna
Oh my
happen.
God, John, let's go.
Let's go.
So, baby, okay. So you think Columbus will be the toughest team, right? That you're going to face Columbus and maybe Kansas
Columbus
City.
or Kansas.
I
It's
like that.
right
I
there
like those
for
two.
me. Yeah.
Wow. Are you
That's
just
what
saying
I
that
think.
because they're on Kansas?
No.
Despite us being on
Don't-
Kansas.
Don't forget
she's
to Venmo me.
Always a business person. Always a business person.
Always.
And she has all those followers and sponsors and.
On Friday nights, don't you have a lot of fun little Friday night parties with those theme nights, 70s night, Olympic theme nights, Texas, one step night? Who do you think is the best dancer out there? There's been a lot of people dancing or think they're the best dancer. Who did you enjoy? Who was the most entertaining dancer you saw on all those nights?
To me, the best dancer is Scott Moore.
Yes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is
He
definitely the
moves
best
like
dancer.
Jagger, right?
Mick
Moves
Jagger.
like Jagger.
Yeah, I like that.
Jagger.
Mick Jagger.
He's a good dance. And his wife. He and his wife.
His
His wife is
No, they compete.
adorable.
Like they compete in swing dancing. They're very good.
They're it.
They're hands down the best. But he's by far, him and his wife, Susan, hands down the best dancer we saw at Texas one step night. They just blew it away.
It's
Well,
called
who do
two-step, not one-step, by the way.
Thanks, Jen. But
Oh, man.
who's the funniest dancer? Like who dancing you had laugh? Like, okay, they're trying hard. They're not a great dancer.
Michael Shane,
But... Who?
you.
Me? I don't get out there dancing, so you haven't caught me on that, so it can't be me. But who's out there dancing that's kind of like entertaining? How's that? That's kind of funny.
I forgot her name. She's actually from there. I forgot her name.
She's from Houston?
She was up there. The blonde girl. I always thought
Anna
she-
Shirley. Anna Shirley's
Was it
great.
Taylor dancing or?
Not Taylor. The other
Not-
girl.
Anna Shirley's on your team, so
She's
you know she's
the
very-
only real
she's awesome.
Texan girl from Texas.
Amy Bloomrosen? She was dancing. She was fun.
No, the other girl, she's taller.
Helen Willem?
No.
With the funny teeth.
But Helen,
She had the best
Helen
costume.
is one of my favorite of all times. Did you see her
Yeah,
costume?
she's so funny. She
She's
committed.
so original. Yeah, I love that woman to death.
Yeah.
How
Scott
about-
Johnston was good. He was a good dancer.
Scott Jensen.
With his
Let's go back to
Helen-
Scott Jensen. He's a classic, okay? Like every time he has, surprised everyone in a good way. He's just too funny. I love him.
Yeah, he's
awesome.
great.
He
Scott's
knew how
great.
to close the party.
Yeah, Scott was great. I think Arena Ackerbrown was great for Olympic night. He was very amusing and entertaining. He was exciting.
Listen,
as
it
a
doesn't
swimmer.
matter how good you can dance. We're over 50. We're having fun. We're playing pickleball. Who
How
cares?
about David? How about
You're not
David
good if you are
George?
good.
Did
You're
you
having
see
fun.
David George in his short shorts on Olympic night when he was running the Olympic race? That was one of the highlights of my time at NPL this year. Was watching David George running with a paddle between his legs doing the Olympic race.
That was good.
Well, I didn't know you felt that way, Michael, but I'm glad to hear that now. So I heard
they're roommates usually, so they have this major bromance going on.
Oh.
And so we're just here to witness, this blooming relationship.
No,
yeah.
I'm married 38 years, just so you know. Sorry, David. No chance.
I've been
No
married
chance,
28 years. I thought what happens in the NPL stays in the NPL.
Oh, it's not Vegas, baby.
So tell me, what is your favorite thing of all these? You said you love the NPL, which is great, and we all love the NPL. What is your favorite thing? Is it the Friday night party? Is it the friendship? Is it the community? Is it the physical health, the mental health that you get from it? Is it the competition? Is it
It is the community, and then the competition. It's like how everyone genuinely help each other because we have to work as a team. So there's no jealousy, there's no this and that. Because when you're out there, it's like you just feel alone, right?
Yeah.
And then let's say you're sucking, but then they're like, they're supporting you, telling you what to do, what you didn't do. So for me, like I'm a person I'm from Brazil, so we're very blunt in Brazil. For me, I prefer people just to tell me what it is on the spot. I don't want it to hold their grudge and tell me later. I want it to tell me when the point is going at that moment so I can do anything to fix. I have very thick skin, but not a lot of people are like that. So that's what I like about the teams, because then you have no choice. We are there to help each other, so nobody will take personal. But if it's individual setting, people are going to see in a different way. You know, so that works good for me. I wanna be told what to do. You know, especially if I'm playing mix, like I want it to be the man of this courtship. You know, go and be the man. Like if I'm popping the ball, just tell me as is. And a lot of Americans, by the way, are very polite. And in Brazil, we are not polite. We're straight to the point. We're like, hey, that's what I need right now, and I can do it. You know? So as a team, I feel like we have a little bit of that because everyone is open to the feedback because that's the culture. That's how you have to do it. So people are allowed to do it without thinking twice, you know? That's what I like the most about the NPL. I felt like every time I went, I just came back home. I learned so much in many different ways in how to treat people and how interact with people or... Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's beautiful. It's a way.
Family, and that's
it's
what we
family.
Want.
It's a family feeling.
Yeah, that's what we want. We want it to be a family, no matter what team you're on. It's the bigger family is the NPL family. You play hard, you try to beat the other team, but afterwards you go celebrate and have a hug with your opponents, with your teammates.
Chest bump, you know.
Yep, chest bumps, whatever it takes. But you
it's
celebrate
cool, like,
together.
when you see these players, there's different levels of players, right?
Yeah.
And then you see like a whole team, and then they will do the matchups, and then you see clearly this person doesn't want to play with this person, but they'll suck it up for the time being because it's a team kind of thing.
Right.
And then after they do, they actually feel good about it. So it's just putting more meaning into people in a competition world, because competition, it already says it's competition. So you got to have thick skin, but not everyone has it, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like NPL just brings more love to the game.
That's
in a way.
That's
right.
Great.
And then if you mess it up, you know it's okay, because we all have bad days, right? But then when you're just playing like individual tournaments, and then people that you don't know, every time you go, and then if you didn't do well, you just feel so bad.
Yeah.
Right. Because I had all these expectations, but as a team, then it just feels better in a way.
That's right.
Well, if you lose 2 and you're out and you have to go back to your hotel, now you have lunch, and then you do it again in the afternoon, and then you do it again the next day. And, you know, and don't you almost feel like, you know, it's once a month, you're like waiting, two more weeks. It's like going back to like a reunion, or you're like excited to, you know, I can't believe there's only one left.
Exactly. It went by so
faster
fast
this year than last year. So,
you know, the one you said, like when you just chew and then you go back to the hotel. You know, when someone reach out, I was like, do you want to play with me? And then you look in the duper or this and that. And then you start like an interview on the phone. Oh, I like to play this way and this and that. And you're all excited and giggling, and then send messages. Let's go, right? Inspire each other. And that person didn't do what you want, or vice versa. You never talk again.
Well, you know, the good news is, right? But the good news is now that you know all these people in NPL, when you see them at tournament, at least for me, like, oh, hey, how's it going? Reagan, that's how I met her. Or how's it going, Jen or David or Adriana? Like, I feel like even when I go to a tournament now, I feel like my family's there, right? Yeah. So it's more meaning when I go to a tournament now that I play in the NPL as well.
That's what I meant the whole time.
Yeah, no, that's great. So has it changed your life for the better? I mean, NPL?
Definitely, because I was really worried switching to the senior pro, because everyone that I played before was like the younger side of it. Then I was like, who's going to partner up with me? Who's going to give me the opportunity? Because seriously, guys, it's very hard the first year. And then I want to play with this person, that person, but they are already committed a year ahead. and they're best friends. The kids play together. I can't say no to my partner. And then you're like, where am I going to fit? So then MPL, I feel like I'm meeting new people all the time. And so there is possibilities. Because until then, for you to break in is very hard, which is understandable, right? Why would I play with you, Michael, if I know Jen right there for so long, and then we do well, or
Yeah.
the uncertainty.
You better than you, Mask.
Yeah, exactly.
What about? But you mentioned before couples and your date with Chris. Now, do you guys ever play tournaments together, or no? It's better not to play.
We did play the U.S. Open. We went 2-2, and the reason we went to 2-2 is because we were like bickering at each other and then rolling eyes. Like, I would never do that to you or to Michael or to anyone, right? But then if it's someone that you're so used to, you're like, oh, you just drag each other down.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Everyone says don't play with your loved ones in a competition setting because it's not good.
Right.
It doesn't matter how good he is or not, or me or whoever it is.
So were you glad that you were drafted to different teams? Do you think that's just
yes, definitely.
Your family has his.
Yeah.
It's not like,
But it doesn't have to be that way, right?
No, yeah.
But for me,
it's like that's your team, that's his team. You see them all together. Probably makes it more interesting.
Yeah. So for me, it's being like my first year in the senior pro, this has been wonderful because I have been meeting so many people, and then I have had new opportunities that I couldn't even dream of before.
Great. So that's awesome. Well, Adriana, we could talk forever, but
I know
we have to. This has been such a pleasure, but we really enjoy you being on our podcast, telling you the story coming from Brazil and how hard you worked to get to where you are. And we're so blessed, I would say, that you are in the NPL because you've brought a lot of spunk, a lot of energy, lot of charisma, not only to Seattle but to all of NPL. So I'm better for knowing you as well, and I could say Jen and David would say as well. So we're grateful. We hope you do well in the championship or weekend. Your prediction of you guys winning it all, but maybe Columbus will be the toughest battle, and you gave Kansas City some credit, so that's good. But hopefully,
we'll never know, time. Right?
We'll never know, but hopefully you play your best, and we'll be rooting for you to play your best, and hopefully we'll see each other in the finals. How's that?
Okay, that sounds good.
Right. Oh, great. Well, on behalf of my co-host, David, the Professor George, Jen Bone Crusher Gallwas, and Michael Hammer Mike Chen, I just want to say thank you, Adriana Tomazelli, for being our special guest today. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Everything and the Kitchen Dink, where we go inside the National Pickleball League. Thank you.
Thank you, more.
Thank you for tuning in to the official podcast of the National Pickleball League. Please stay tuned as we will be back soon with our next episode as we go inside the NPL.